She told me to stay in my lane. I did. My coworker Mariah had been stealing my ideas for 8 months. Every time I pitched something in our team meetings, she'd dismiss it. Then 2 weeks later, she'd present the exact same concept to our boss as her own. The first time it happened, I thought it was a coincidence. We both worked in marketing. Maybe we just had similar ideas. But then it kept happening. I suggested a social media campaign targeting college students. Mariah rolled her eyes and said it was too niche. 3 weeks later, she presented the exact same campaign to our director and got a $2,000 bonus. I proposed a partnership with a local influencer. Mariah said influencer marketing was dead. A month later, she closed a deal with that same influencer and got promoted to senior marketing coordinator. I mentioned restructuring our email sequences. Mariah laughed and said I should stick to what I know. 2 weeks later, she implemented my restructuring plan and got recognized at the company-wide meeting. Every single time, the same pattern. I started documenting everything. Timestamps on my emails, screenshots of my Slack messages, recordings of our team meetings where I pitched ideas and she shot them down. But I never said anything, never confronted her, never went to HR, because I was waiting. See, I knew something Mariah didn't. Our director was retiring in 6 months, and the company was bringing in someone new, someone from outside, someone who didn't know Mariah's reputation as the idea machine, someone who would only see what I showed them. The new director started on a Monday. Her name was Denise, and she scheduled one-on-ones with everyone on the team during her first week. Mariah went first. Came out of that meeting glowing. Told everyone Denise was impressed with her track record of successful campaigns. My meeting was Thursday at 2 p.m. I walked in with a folder. Denise smiled and asked me to tell her about myself. I said I'd rather show her something first. I laid out 8 months of documentation. Every idea I'd pitched, every dismissal from Mariah, every implementation 2 weeks later under Mariah's name, timestamps, screenshots, meeting recordings. Denise's smile disappeared. She asked why I never reported this. I told her nobody would have believed me. Mariah was the golden child, the one with all the wins, the one everyone praised. But now there was someone new, someone with fresh eyes, someone who could see the pattern without the bias. Denise thanked me and said she'd look into it. 2 days later, Mariah was called into Denise's office. She was in there for 3 hours. When she came out, her face was completely white. She walked straight to my desk, stood there for a long moment, then said 5 words I'll never forget. You should have stayed in your lane. I looked up at her, confused. She clarified. Last month, when I told you to stay in your lane and stop trying to pitch ideas above your pay grade, you should have listened. I remembered that conversation. It was after I suggested we rebrand the company's entire visual identity. She'd laughed and told me to stay in my lane. I smiled at her. I did stay in my lane, Mariah. Documentation is my lane. Patience is my lane. Waiting for the right moment is my lane. Her jaw tightened. You planned this. I leaned back in my chair. No, you planned this. 8 months ago, when you stole my first idea, I just took notes. Mariah was terminated that Friday, not just for the idea theft, but for falsifying her performance reviews. Turns out she'd been inflating her metrics for years. Denise called me into her office the following Monday. She offered me Mariah's position, senior marketing coordinator, plus back pay for every bonus Mariah received from my stolen ideas. I accepted. 3 months later, I got promoted again, director of marketing. Denise had recommended me personally before she moved to the corporate office. Mariah messaged me on LinkedIn last week, asked if I could refer her for a position at my company. I left her on red. Some lanes aren't worth merging into.